After a breakup, have you ever told yourself, well, I'm mature, maybe we can stay friends? It sounds like you're emotionally evolved, and it could be the right thing to do. But staying just friends is one of the most common traps that people fall into. What feels like emotional maturity is often a slippery slope that keeps you emotionally tied to that individual. Research tells us that staying friends with your ex immediately after a breakup is a bad idea. In this video, we're going to be going over 5 reasons why it's not a good idea to stay friends with your ex. But before we get into it, my name is Cassandra Mullick. I'm a registered therapist and a relationship coach. And this channel is all about healing ourselves after a breakup. Now, this topic hits home for me because when I started dating my current partner, he was still friends with his ex. And really quickly, it became apparent that there were some unresolved feelings there that they had never discussed. Thankfully, we went to couples therapy and we got those issues resolved. So let's unpack why it's not a good idea to stay friends with your ex. Number 1, continued contact prevents healing and leads to worsening outcomes. So let's get really real. You can't heal unless you are away from the person or the environment that has caused damage to you in the first place. Psychologically, distance is a non-negotiable. When you're constantly texting, checking in, or hanging out with your ex, you're not moving on. You're just re-injuring yourself over and over again. Clinically, it's recommended to have limited contact with your ex. Now, there's certain exceptions to this. So, of course, if you have children or pets involved, you can't go no contact. But if you don't have those things involved, and if you're not dealing with legal proceedings, it's suggested to go no contact for a period of time. There's a reason for this. The first is that your nervous system has a chance to recuperate and heal. Now, depending on what kind of relationship you had, if it was turbulent, if it was anxiety provoking, your nervous system was on high alert all of the time. So once you take that space away from that individual, your nervous system starts to heal itself and you start to shake out of that fight, flight, or freeze response. Additionally, that time apart allows you to grieve the loss of your relationship, to set boundaries, and gain new perspectives on what happened in your relationship and what you don't want in your future relationships. Most experts suggest 6 months to a year of no contact or very limited contact before you try to establish a friendship. Studies show that sustained contact with your ex after a breakup actually leads to worsening emotional outcomes. What this means is the longer you stay in contact with your ex, the harder it is for you to heal emotionally from the breakup. Number 2, hidden romantic desires kill friendship quality. If I stay close to this person, maybe they're going to realize what they lost. Research has found that the more romantic desire someone has for their ex, the crappier the friendship will be. Friendships built on lingering desires are rarely real friendships. If you're still in love or fantasizing about getting back together or feel possessive over this person, staying close only traps you in denial. You're trying to grieve something while pretending you haven't lost it. That false hope really messes up your healing process. So if the friendship is secretly motivated because you're fantasizing about getting back together with this person, that is not the right intention to have, and it's dysregulating for both your ex and yourself. That is avoidance pretending to be connection. Number 3, the hormonal trap. Now let's talk about the biological side of things.
I'm done with the relationship thing.
I'm emotionally unavailable.
I'm emotionally damaged.
Because science doesn't care about your friends with benefits label. If you're just friends, but you're still being intimate with your partner,
No emotions, just sex.
your body is working against your goal of detachment. When you have sex, your brain releases dopamine and oxytocin, the bonding chemicals that actually deepen attachment. So every friends with benefits situation after a breakup is like pressing replay on your heartbreak cycle. Sex isn't platonic. And if you're still in that hormonal loop, you're not actually separating yourself. You're actually reattaching, which then prolongs your healing journey. Number 4, friendship blocks your future by meeting your emotional needs. This one's sneaky. So by staying close with your ex, you're actually limiting yourself from exploring future opportunities, but also you're staying stuck because you feel comfortable and safe within that dynamic. And I get it, it's not easy. None of this is easy. You know, when you've been with someone for so long, you know their habits, you know their patterns, you know how they feel, you know all of the things. So of course our body wants familiar because it feels comfortable. But it's a double-edged sword, because if we're so used to that person, we may not have any motivation to find a relationship that is better suited to us. When your emotional needs are being met by your partner, so the long texts, the conversations, the physical hangouts, you're limiting your potential chances to meeting someone new, and you're not allowing any time or space for that new person to come into your life. Also, one thing to consider is, like in my situation earlier that I talked about, your new interest might not like the dynamic that you have with your ex. And then you have to reflect on, well, am I just comfortable in the past, or am I actually ready to move on to something else? And only you can answer that question. Number 5, the ultimate test. So how do you really know if you're ready to become friends with your ex? Here is the litmus test that experts recommend. Ask yourself, if my ex met someone and fell madly in love, would I genuinely be happy for them? If your answer isn't an immediate grounded yes, and if you felt like your stomach just dropped just thinking about it, you're not ready. And that's okay. It means that you're still healing. And at the end of the day, if keeping your ex in your life causes sadness, anxiety, or keeps you stuck in the past, then that's not friendship, that's self-sabotage. It's important to prioritize your peace and figure out what works best for you. If you're ready to learn more about detachment, you can check out this video up here.